First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, or Kakwadash. Yahweh is the name of who this world ignorantly calls God. Yahweh Shai is the name of who this world ignorantly calls Jesus. Bahashem means in the name, Rakah means spirit, and Quadash means holy. And that's all in the Paleo Hebrew. I also want to give double honors to the outer bishops and apostles of the great millstone that taught me this truth. Today's lesson, I wanted to go over these two scriptures, which entitles or encompasses how we're supposed to be acting, right? Let's just read it and go into it real quickly. This is Mark chapter 12, and I'll start at 29. And it says, And Yahushua answered him, The first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment, right? The first commandment is to make sure you're doing the right thing, right? Make sure you're seeking out your own salvation with fear and trembling, right? It says the whole duty of man is to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. What does it say? If you love me, keep my commandments, right? That's the first thing we're supposed to be focusing on is ourselves, right? Trying to make sure we're in the good graces, we're doing the right things, right? Because how can you lead if you don't lead by example? Okay? If you're telling someone to do better and you're not doing it yourself, you're a hypocrite. Okay? And ultimately, that's an abomination, right? But let's read the second one. Okay? It says, And the second is like, namely this, Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these. Okay, so the first one is make sure you're doing the right thing, right? Make sure you're following the commandments and doing the right thing in the eyes of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai. And the second one is to love thy neighbor as thyself. Okay, love thy neighbor as thyself. And the way I wanted to go into this is loving your neighbor is correcting him, right? If you have your neighbor goes into your brother, right, that's trying to do the right thing, it doesn't just go into anyone. No, it goes into those that are trying to do the right thing, right? Trying to get right with the Lord. Okay, and ultimately loving your neighbor as yourself is correcting him, right? If you see him, right, doing the wrong thing, okay, you correct him. You tell him, hey, bro, you're not supposed to be doing that, right? You're supposed to be doing this, this, and that. And that's true love, right? Because it's just like having an older brother, right? Your older brother, right? If he sees you doing something that's not right, that's not correct, that's gonna put you in danger, ultimately he's gonna tell you what's really going on, right? He's gonna tell you not to do it. He's gonna tell you the right thing because ultimately he cares about you and he knows that there's consequences. Okay, he's gonna lead you in that right path, and that's true love, right? Love, how I said, is not a feeling; it's an action. Okay, because it happens all the time in the world. A chick will tell you she love you, right? She could tell you she loves you all the time, but if she ain't showing it, does she really love you? Right? Because love is action. Okay? You can say it all you want, but is it shown? Okay? And to love thy neighbor as thyself, hey, it all comes down to, hey, bro, are you doing the right thing? Right? If hey, it's mutual. If I see a brother that is going off, I'm gonna tell him it doesn't even matter if it offends him. I'm gonna tell him, hey, you're not supposed to be doing that, bro. Because that's true love. Because I understand, hey, it's bigger than you and me, right? It's bigger than you and me, the power we're dealing with. And same thing with him and me. If he sees I'm going off, hey, he's gonna correct me too, and that's true love. Okay? But let's get some scriptures going into that, right? Because ultimately, nobody, right? No believers are greater than each other. I can know all the knowledge I have, and I'm still at the same level. I'm still at the same level as another brother that just came in, right? Just came in the world, right? Still doing worldly shit. I can be on point, you know what I'm saying? And I could have a brother that's still in the world, right? But he's trying to get better. And that just because I'm already on that path, right? I've got things a little bit situated. It doesn't make me any better than him. Okay, because we're all still men and we're still all trying to receive salvation. Okay, we're all on the same playing field. Now we get some scriptures going into that. This is Matthew chapter 18, and I'll start at verse 1. It says, "At the same time came the disciples unto Yahushua, saying, Who is the greatest in the kingdom of heaven? And Yahushua called a little child unto him, and set him in the midst of them, and said, Verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven." Right? And becoming as little children become pretty much goes into, right, being reborn. Okay? Pretty much changing, okay, restarting your whole life, right, your whole mentality, and humbling yourself, right? It says, "Whosoever therefore shall humble himself as this little child, the same is greatest in the kingdom of heaven. And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name receiveth me." Okay, so we're supposed to humble ourselves, right? It says, "The meek shall inherit the earth." Okay, there's a certain spirit you're supposed to be in that's acceptable. As it says, "And whoso shall receive one such little child in my name receiveth me." Right? And that goes into what we read in Mark, right? Loving your neighbor as yourself, right? Receiving that little child, right? Admonishing him, right? Rebuking, exhorting, right? Building, as it says, right? What was that scripture? Proverbs 27 and 17. "Iron sharpeneth iron, so a man sharpeneth the countenance of his friend." Right? Let's keep reading. Matthew 18 and 6. "But whoso shall offend one of these little ones which believe in me, it were better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and that he were drowned in the depth of the sea." Right? So if you just offend, right, a little brother, which goes into a believer, right, a brother that's trying to get right, even if you offend him, right, it'd be better for you to drown in the sea, man, because it's that deep. It's that deep. And ultimately, I had the scripture unlocked. Let's get that. Because knowledge, let's see what it says about knowledge and what it does to you. Right? This is First Corinthians chapter 8 and verse 1. It says, "Now as touching things offered unto idols, we know that we all have knowledge. But what? Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth." Right? Having all this knowledge, right, for some men, it's gonna puff them up. Right? It's gonna feel like, yeah, I'm the man. Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Right? Yeah, you don't know nothing. Okay, and ultimately, that's righteous in a certain extent, right? So you can boast in the Lord, but it's not supposed to be to brothers, man. Right? You're not supposed to be boasting like acting all proud. Okay? Yeah, it's supposed to be a source of confidence, knowing, yeah, I know the scriptures. Yeah, I'm doing right by the Lord. I'm trying to be a better man, and I understand what's going on. Right? That comes with a sense of confidence because you understand what's truly going on in the world, but you're not supposed to let that dictate your life, right? You're not supposed to come off as proud. Nah, it's contrary, right? You're supposed to be humble, meek, right? Knowing all that knowledge, you're supposed to be humble, right? Knowing you know more than the average Joe Schmo, right? It's a whole paradigm shift because the modern Jake, man, he'll learn a couple things, man. Learn how to make that bread, and he'll be in the world thinking, "Yeah, I know how to make money." What do you know, man? Right? Knowledge puffeth up, but charity edifieth. And if any man think that he knoweth anything, he knoweth nothing yet as he ought to know. Right? If you think you know something, man, you ultimately you know nothing, man. Right? You know nothing. And ultimately, we gotta, as it says, right, the sacrifices to the Lord are a broken heart and a contrite spirit, right? Humble, meek. There's a certain type of mindset you have to be in to ultimately make it. And it all goes back to loving the Lord and loving your brother as yourself, right? Because, hey, to love your brother, you have to be right yourself, okay? Let's get this in Luke chapter 14 and verse 11. It says, "For whosoever exalteth himself shall be abased, and he that humbleth himself shall be exalted." Okay? So if you exalt yourself, right, you say, "Yeah, I'm that man," or "Yeah, I'm the shit," hey, you're gonna be abased, right? You're gonna be put to a low level. crushed. But if you humble yourself, right? Yeah, I know all this knowledge, I know what's going on, but hey, I'm chilling, right? I'm nobody, right? Hey, I'm not greater than that brother. Yeah, I know all this knowledge, but hey, that brother's trying to do the right thing too. I'm not greater than him, and he's not greater than me. We're all trying to strive for salvation. That's the type of mentality we have to be in. That's ultimately that's true love, right? That's the spirit, the true brotherly spirit you have to be in. Because what does Scripture say? Let's get a scripture going into that, right? Having a friend, a faithful friend. I'm looking at my notes real quick. Let's see. Right, John 15 and 13, it says, "Greater love hath no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends." Okay? And imagine that, man. The love that you have to lay down your life, man. Sacrifice yourself for a friend. Okay? That's true love, right? Truly showing that, hey, if hey, how people say in the world, man, how Jake says in the world, "I got your back," right? I need a ride or die. That's true love because they're gonna be there till the end of it. No matter what, they're gonna stick by you. Okay, and that's loyalty at the end of the day. And let's get one more I have here. This is Proverbs chapter, no, Ecclesiasticus chapter 6, verse 14. It says, "A faithful friend is a strong defense, and he that hath found such an one hath found a treasure. Nothing doth countervail a faithful friend, and his excellency is invaluable. A faithful friend is the medicine of life, and they that fear the Lord Yahweh shall find him." Okay? And this goes into, hey, once again, Mark 12 and 31, loving your neighbor as yourself, right? Loving your neighbor as yourself, because you understand the dynamic, right? You understand the brotherhood. And that's one of the greatest things about the brotherhood is being in the right spirit, right? You're with men that are like-minded. Okay, you don't gotta ask the brother what he thinks about a topic because we're all on the same frequency. We're all on the same frequency. We're all singing that same song. Okay, you don't gotta ask the brother if he's gonna do this or that because you already know what his mentality is, how he moves. Because we're all trying to seek the Lord and get right. Okay, that's the beautiful thing about it. Whereas if you're in the world, hey, you don't know exactly what someone's thinking. Yeah, he'll act the part, but you might not know his true intentions. Man, as it says, Ecclesiasticus 12 and 8, a friend cannot be known in prosperity, and an enemy cannot be hidden in adversity. Okay? A friend cannot be known in prosperity. When everything's going right, hey, he'll act the part, right? He'll act like everything's going good, right? But when shit hits the fan, when that adversity comes, you're gonna see those true colors come out, those true fangs, and see if he was truly dealing with you or not. That's why it says there's no greater love than a man lay down his life for his friends. Because when that adversity came, hey, he ultimately held it down, man. Okay? And that's true love. That's loving your neighbor as yourself. Let's get this in Acts, right? And this tells you exactly how we're supposed to be acting, right? This goes into the account of Cornelius and Peter, right? Because Peter, he was out here doing all these miracles, okay? And you had Cornelius, okay, that he was looking to meet Peter, right? He looked at Peter with great esteem, like I want to be like that man. And let's start at Acts chapter 10 and verse 24. It says, "And the morrow after they entered into Caesarea, and Cornelius waited for them, and had called together his kinsmen and near friends. And as Peter was coming in, Cornelius met him, and fell down at his feet and worshipped him. But Peter took him up, saying, Stand up, I myself also am a man." Right? He pretty much told Cornelius, "Hey, bro, stand up. Yeah, I'm nothing greater than you, bro. I'm also just a man. Right? We're both trying to do the right thing. I'm not greater than you, and you're not greater than me. We're both little ones, right?" And this is ultimately like, man, I'm gonna keep going back to it because it all ties together perfectly. Man, loving your brother, loving thy neighbor as thyself, right? Humbling yourself, being meek. Okay, that's what Peter was doing when he was telling them, "Hey, I'm just a man also." Right? He didn't want the praise. He didn't want to be exalted. Okay, he was being humble, right? But I think I have two more. This is Proverbs chapter 27 and verse 5. It says, open rebuke is better than secret love, right? And this goes into loving your neighbor as yourself, loving thy neighbor as thyself. When I was going to earlier, right? If you see a brother going off, it's better to rebuke him openly, man, in front of everyone. Tell him, bro, what the fuck are you doing, bro? You're not supposed to be doing that, okay? That's better than secret love, right? When nobody's seeing, fucking telling them, yeah, bro, I fuck with you, blah blah blah. Bro, cursing them out in public is better than that secret love. It says, faithful are the wounds of a friend, but the kisses of an enemy are deceitful, right? Because when you get rebuked, okay, ultimately, hey, it's supposed to hurt. You're supposed to be cut. You're supposed to be wounded. But ultimately, it's out of love because you want to see him. You want to see him strive, man. You want to see him come out on top, right? Be a righteous man. That's true love, right? Showing love is I want to see my brother on the same level as me, right? I want him to succeed as much as I'm succeeding, right? That's true love, and it's faithful. But what does it say? The kisses of an enemy are deceitful, right? Because and the scripture I pulled up, right? An enemy cannot be hidden in adversity, and a friend cannot be known in prosperity, right? The kisses of an enemy, right? You might have an enemy that might just kiss you up, right? To just get something out of you. Because that's what people, man, that's what majority of people do nowadays is they always want something out of you, right? They always look at you, they look at people as an opportunity, right? They look at people as an opportunity. But that's what I'm saying is when it comes down to truly serving the Lord and the brotherhood, hey, me and the brothers, hey, we build up, right? That's how it is, man. That's how it is. I'm not looking at a man that's trying to get right as an opportunity. If anything, when I see him, I'm trying to see if he's doing right. Okay? I'm trying to build him up. I want him to build me up. Iron sharpens iron. That's the mentality. Okay? And just imagine those big camps, man. Over there, GMS Chicago, GMS Dallas. Right? You got tons of brothers together in that type of environment. Right? Just imagine that in the kingdom of heaven when everybody's righteous and we're all on that same frequency. Right? Because when you pipe into this tune while you're singing this song, it's ultimately a frequency, man. You're moving different, okay? And people, hey, people see that, right? Wisdom maketh. I forgot the scripture, man. I was about to kill that one. Well, let's get one more, man. This has been more of a righteous rant, right? Just going off the spirit than anything, okay? But this is Proverbs chapter 9 and verse 8. It says, "Reprove not a scorner, lest he hate thee." Right? And let's get what that word reprove means. Reprove. H3198, right? To reprove someone is to correct him, right? Don't correct a scorner. Right, let's get that definition. Don't correct a scorner, right? Someone that mocks, pretty much a fool, right? Don't correct a fool or else he's gonna hate you. But if you rebuke, you correct a wise man, he will love thee. Okay? And ultimately, that's the truth, man. You can have a 2/3 Jake out here, and you'll tell him some shit like, "Nah, bro, you going off, bro. You're not supposed to be doing that." And this nigga will tell you, "What the fuck you talking about, bro? What the fuck you talking about? You don't know me. You don't know what I'm about." Right? He start hating you, bro. And ultimately, what you're showing is love, bro. You're trying to get him on the right path. But if you rebuke a wise man, you tell him, "Hey, bro, you doing the wrong thing, bro. Hey, the Lord don't approve of that." Ultimately, he's gonna love you, right? He's going to love you because you put him on the right path. You're giving him that wisdom. That's ultimately what wisdom comes into. If you're wise, you're going to learn from other people's experiences, man. But a fool will disregard that and have to go through the experience himself. Verse 9. Give instruction to a wise man, and he will yet be wiser. Teach a just man, and he will increase in learning. Right? And one more, verse 10. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom, and the knowledge of the holy is understanding. Okay? It all comes down to having faith and having fear. right? Because if you fear the Lord, you fear what He can do to you. You fear the things that He's gonna do in the future. You're gonna get right. You're gonna start following the law, statutes, and commandments. You're gonna start doing His will, and that's ultimately wisdom, right? Because you know what's going to happen, right? You're taking advice, and just as I said, that's wisdom. Knowing how to move correctly based on the already expected outcome. That's wisdom. Being able to pick and choose, move over here, do that, because you know the expected outcome. Okay? But hey, I went over a couple scriptures, right? Went over Mark 12 and 30, but I wanted to emphasize on 31, right? Loving thy neighbor as thyself. Make sure you're right, doing the right thing, and then love your neighbor as thyself. If your brother needs some help, you help him. If he needs some money, you give him some money. Okay? But ultimately, you can't give money to just some random person. Okay? It says, "Give to the godly, not to the sinner." Roughly paraphrasing. Okay? And your neighbor is that man that's trying to get right with the Lord. Right? You're supposed to treat him as yourself. But hopefully this is edifying. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakak Wadash, and double honors to the outer bishops and apostles of great Milsa that taught me his truth. Shalom, see you later. Shalom.